Hello and thank you for joining me today. Today I just wanted to talk through why I don't use black. This is really my personal preference, but a lot of people don't use black, and so I will talk through the reasons why and what alternatives I use. So to begin with, I'm just going to show you the black that I've got in here, and you can see I've hardly used it. And I'll just show you that and what it looks like. So straight from the pan, I've already wet the pan with my sprayer, and I'll just pop that down there. Now, to me, that's very, very flat and boring colour. So I'll pop a bit more into it to try and make it a bit darker. And leave that to dry and see what you think about it. And whilst that's drying, I'll make some other alternatives up. So the reason I don't use it is I think that's very dull and boring and a bit lifeless. So the first alternative that I use a lot is using French Ultramarine. So a nice thick mix, not too much water. So French Ultramarine with some burnt umber. So you're going to have a black that's either to the brown side or to the blue side, depending on how much of each you put in. I like it a bit more to the blue side, so I'm just popping a bit more ultramarine in. And isn't that a much nicer colour than the one above it? A lot more life to it, a lot more interest to it, just altogether nicer. Okay, and the next alternative I use, very similar. So this depends on your subject and how warm you want it, but this is a much warmer dark colour, and that's using the Burnt Sienna instead of the Burnt Umber. So we've got the ultramarine again, nice and thick, and the Burnt Sienna. And again, this is the colour's going to vary depending on how much of the sienna you add to the ultramarine, and you're going to alter that depending on your subject. But you need dark colours in your paintings in order to show up the highlights and make the picture interesting, so don't be afraid of going too dark. Okay, so not too dissimilar. Like I said, probably a little bit warmer. I'll just add a bit more of the sienna to it and less blue, and show you how you can make a nice warm colour that's still nice and dark. Perhaps a bit too brown, that one, but you get the idea. A bit more blue in, how you can get quite a few different darks, all much nicer than this flat one at the top straight from the pan. If you did want to use the one straight from the pan, one hint is to pop a little bit of blue into it. So if you get the black from the pan, I mean, even just in the palette, look how much nicer these two look than that one. So plenty of black, and add a blue to it, so something like a cobalt maybe. It could be the ultramarine again. Pop a bit of cobalt in it. And compare those two. A much richer colour. Particularly if we go a bit darker with the blue. The black itself doesn't lift off very well from the pan in the same way that the other colours do, so that's another reason that it's making it more tricky to get a nice dark colour. Okay, another alternative is to use your Paynes Gray a lot. So your Paynes Gray, when they're on the pan you can't really see the much difference, but when you actually put them on the paper you'll be able to see the difference there, how blue it is. So I'll just add a bit more water to this end and you'll see that's a very blue colour. So it's very dark blue-grey, but a nice one. Again, depending on your subject and your colour choices, that's a nice one for getting a nice dark colour in. Other than that, we can make some greys up, and greys of course are made of your three primaries, so they're going to vary depending on which of your blues, yellows and reds that you use. So you can see here I've got a lot of blues, quite a few reds and a few yellows, so the grey is going to be completely different depending on your choice. So you can make a little chart at home using different blues with different yellows and reds to get different greys and browns that you might like to use in your landscape painting. To get a nice dark one, to begin with we'll use a dark blue, so again I'll go for the ultramarine plenty of it. And again, it's going to really depend on how much of each colour you add to this. And a alizarin crimson I'll pop in. Don't forget, red's quite a dominant colour, so you probably don't need as much red as you do your yellow and blue. And then some yellow will go with the cadmium yellow. So you can see already in the pan that that's way too green. So it probably means we need a little bit more red. And a little bit more blue as well, rather than yellow. We've gone too blue now. So it's a bit of a, like making a cake, you're adding a bit of this and a bit of that and balancing. You can see we've gone too green again. So this is the advantage also of having a white palette to mix on. You can see the colour better and what it's going to look like. So it's quite a reddy grey, that one, but a nice dark colour as well. So this really, you can make it towards the blue side, towards, if you put more yellow in, it's obviously going to be more of a browny colour, might be more suitable for the browns that you need in stones and things like that. If you wanted a grey that was sort of to the reddy side or the blue side for things like limestone, so you're going to alter it again depending on your subject matter. But just that same paint, you can see by just adding a touch of a different colour to it, some more yellow, you can get a massive variety of greys and browns. Okay, so they're starting to dry now. You can see that this first bit of black that we put on, that wasn't as dilute as this little bit. See how flat it is? It's a very flat looking colour compared to the ones that we've mixed ourselves. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. Like I say, what I do with the black, if I did want to use it straight from the pan, would be to add a tiny touch of blue to it. It just livens it up a little bit, you know, if you don't want to waste the paint that you've already got. Okay, I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on blacks and what colours you like to use to mix up your dark shadows in the comments below. It'll be helpful for other people as well. I'll be back with you again soon. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.